Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. This vlog that I am now presenting to you, if I had done it many hours ago according to Pakistan time, on Saturday evening or late evening, I was going to do it, but for some reason, I could not. So at this time, my notes and my entire narrative and focus were on the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, press conference which they held on Saturday in Peshawar. Salman Akram Bada came from Islamabad or Lahore to participate. Junaid Akbar Khan had organized it. Asad Kaiser was with them, and so was Taimur Jagra. I also tweeted a little about it that I was going to discuss it soon because I believe that press conference was the most important press conference in Pakistan's political history since 1971, for those who can understand it. Then I appealed to people not to trust the media, newspapers or other media sources, podcasters, TV anchors or vloggers. It is very important that if you love Pakistan and are interested in its future, then it is your citizenship, civic and moral responsibility to watch this press conference yourself. I am very happy that approximately 400,000 people have already watched this press conference on the official PTI YouTube channel, which is a record because in recent months, perhaps no speech or press conference on the PTI YouTube channel has been watched by people with such attention and for such a long time. I fully believe I will emphasize its importance. I want to say that the message of this press conference was for Pakistan's establishment, for Pakistan's General Asim Munir. Unfortunately, Pakistan's establishment is not an institution or an organization. It is just the name of one person who is the army chief. He is the establishment here. Basically, directly, these leaders did not mention General Asim Munir's name, but by addressing him, they held this press conference. I wanted to experiment with what its importance is and what implications will be if the message is not understood for Pakistan's federation. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, there is no shortage of people who cannot understand things on time, and unfortunately, ISPR has thousands of people hired on salary and contracts on social media who are trying through their comments to weaken Pakistan's consciousness and mind further. When the real issues are not understood, I wanted to talk about this, but then, just a few hours later, another development happened between Pakistan and Afghanistan, which I honestly did not expect. The defense forces of Afghanistan, whatever they are, I believe they do not have any significant or conventional military. After the Taliban, they launched a very strong attack on Pakistan's posts at various places. Then Pakistan responded with counterattacks, using heavy weapons, heavy artillery, light infantry, tanks, drone strikes, and, well, the situation continued for many hours. Because, as I told you, thanks to ISPR, who deployed a large army of trolls on social media constantly trying to tell you that we killed so many, we destroyed so many posts, we captured so many posts, but the real issue is not this. The real issue is that the Afghanistan Taliban government, which does not have a conventional military status, has been so pressured and cornered by Pakistan that they launched a military attack on Pakistan's border posts, which is honestly the start of a very dangerous kind of relationship. All this happened when Afghanistan's foreign minister, Maulvi Amir Khan Muttaqi, is on a 6 to 7 day visit inside India from October 9th to October 16th. During this 24-hour period, many photos, images, and footage started to emerge, showing how very warmly the Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar welcomed and received him, and a joint statement was issued by Afghanistan and India. I saw this joint statement because Pakistan's Foreign Office made a big protest against it. The Afghan acting ambassador in Pakistan was called and protested. I wondered what kind of statement was issued between Afghanistan and India, so I looked at the full statement with 12 paragraphs. In paragraph 3, which Pakistan's Foreign Office made a baseless and unnecessary fuss about, it stated that Afghanistan and India both condemned the terrorist attack that took place on April 22, 2025, in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, India. Now, does Pakistan's Foreign Office have any common sense? What are we expecting? That the joint statement will say illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir? It is impossible for them to write that. Can Afghanistan force India to write occupied Jammu and Kashmir or held Kashmir in the joint statement, which is actually a matter for the United Nations? No, they cannot. But we unnecessarily made a fuss about it. This entire situation is such a great achievement of the Sharif Zardari regime that within the first 10 months of 2025, they have a huge confrontation with India. In 2022, 2023, and 2024, for the first 3 years, they did not want any tension with India. They thought the Western paradigm under which we operate required that we maintain a good relationship with India. Now they have opened a new front there, and also a front with Afghanistan. The Taliban regime, God knows what they are thinking about the future. I am seeing from Washington that there is no appetite or desire in American institutions yet to destabilize or do anything about the Afghan Taliban government. If we are making a case, that's a different matter. Russia has recognized the Afghan Taliban. They have good relations with China. In the coming days, it's possible that India, China, and Russia will start supplying the Afghan Taliban with better weapons and military training. This is a very strange and dangerous situation developing for us. Now, if you combine this with the press conference, there was a very subtle thing in it when Asad Kaiser said that trade with Afghanistan is very important for KP's economy, business world, and economy. The current border situation and attacks happened only after this. Before this, the attacks had not occurred. I am sure many of you have seen that press conference. I am explaining this in detail because I believe that press conference was so important. As I said, Junaid Akbar Khan organized it. Salman Akram Badar was originally not part of it, but later expressed his desire to participate. I think that was good. He came from Islamabad, which extended the press conference for several hours. Junaid Akbar Khan apologized for the condition of journalists. Salman Akram's presence gave it a federal and national character. Otherwise, it was purely the expression of KP's provincial leadership. The language used was very appropriate. There were no harsh words. But the message was very firm and strong. The message was that KP's politics has reached a tipping point, and it should not be further abused or pushed against the wall, as it could have very dangerous consequences. They also said, Asad Kaiser and Junaid Akbar said, if you eliminate or delegitimize PTI, don't even think about doing that, because the scattered youth who will be deprived of their political representation will join the Taliban and insurgents. Raja started the press talk very powerfully by saying that a few days ago, Major Adnan, who was martyred, was visited by them at his home. His mother's face was radiant. They expressed their support for the army and said that unlike the DGISPR's claim that they facilitate terrorism, they want to cooperate with the military to fight terrorism, although their thinking and approach differ. Junaid Akbar Khan explained that conspiracies are ongoing to prevent Suhail Afridi from becoming chief minister. You know that on Wednesday Ali Amin Gandapur publicly resigned, but it was only confirmed on Saturday at 2:30 in the afternoon by Faisal Karim Kundi. They appreciate that after resigning, Ali Amin Gandapur formally nullified any conspiracies related to his resignation and repeatedly clarified that he resigned and even physically handed over his resignation. But for 4 days, there was foot-dragging to create an environment for conspiracy. These are the issues Junaid Akbar Khan addressed, saying don't forget that no conspiracy here can succeed. He said all 1,992 members have agreed to vote for Suhail Afridi as chief minister, and they are in touch with other parties as well. I want to emphasize that this is a historic press conference. The irony is that Pakistan's 2 major English newspapers, Dawn and Tribune, have not published a story on it, no headline at all. Dawn mentioned it briefly in another story about Faisal Karim Kundi receiving Ali Amin Gandapur's resignation and the Monday meeting for selecting a new chief minister. But no mention of Salman Akram Badar, Taimur Jagra, Asad Kaiser, or Junaid Akbar's importance. Unfortunately, these newspapers have become official bulletins for the ruling group, whereas the media's fundamental role is to present the opposition's point of view to the public. The government's point of view is always available through ministries, TV, radio, and so on. Therefore, the opposition's point of view is nowhere to be found. PTI is also in touch with other opposition parties. So I decided to raise this issue through this vlog and want you to spread my voice across Punjab, Sindh, and other places. Now is the time for every organization in Punjab, bar associations, Islamabad Bar Association, High Court Bar Associations in Lahore, Sindh, Balochistan, human rights organizations, and elected representatives of KP Assembly to have the right to elect their chief minister. This is exactly what Junaid Akbar repeatedly emphasized. Don't do what we hear from the governor or from Parvez Ashraf, who made strange statements about preventing Suhail Afridi from becoming chief minister by any means. He warned very politely but firmly that this should not happen because it will have very dangerous consequences for KP, whose entire population is about 50 million. You will insult the people and completely destroy the whole process. Now, Asad Kaiser made several important points there. I had said earlier that it is crucial to watch this press conference because he made a very piercing remark when he said, if these young people who cast their votes are not given political participation and space for expression, then what will they do? Ultimately, they will drift, and they may end up joining the same insurgency associated with the TTP. Taimur Jagra also made very technical points there. I believe there should be a detailed discussion with him on this. He explained that the recent DG-ISPR press conference, where many allegations were made about money being given, those statements were misleading. He explained that the real issue lies in the National Finance Commission, or NFC award. A serious flaw in it is that when the former FATA, or federally administered tribal areas, were merged into Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, it was decided that, for development, all provinces would contribute an additional 3% over their NFC shares. But no province has done that to this day. This is a very important point, but often misunderstood. People think KP is just asking for extra money. But since 2018, when Sartaj Aziz's committee under Nawaz Sharif's government recommended merging FATA into KP, the reasoning was clear. FATA remained underdeveloped, and development would only happen effectively if it was integrated into KP. Before the merger, FATA's financial responsibility was completely federal. Its 8 National Assembly seats were directly represented federally. After the merger, funding for development was supposed to be provided through KP's share, but this never happened properly. And these are the same areas that were bombed after 2004. Yes, bombed by Pakistan itself. Who else uses airstrikes in its own territory? After destroying those areas, no sufficient funds were allocated for rebuilding. Taimur Jagra explained this very well in the press conference, but since it's a complex subject, I've tried to explain it further here. Taimur Jagra also said, the Chief Minister of Punjab says, "My wheat, my will," meaning our wheat, our choice. If we start saying the same, our electricity, our choice, our water, our choice, then what happens? Junaid Akbar echoed this point too. Now, let me add something here. The Punjabi elite, whether in bar associations, political parties, or the civil-military bureaucracy, do not understand one simple fact. Punjab is a landlocked territory. If it has any external access, it is through India, with which Pakistan has highly strained relations and no bilateral trade. Punjab's water and electricity are dependent on Azad Kashmir. Its trade with China goes through Gilgit-Baltistan, which is part of Azad Kashmir. KP supplies Punjab with water and electricity. Ports and trade routes to the external world go through Sindh. What Punjab does have is the military, and it has used that to manage and control the rest of the provinces. This military control structure wasn't always obvious, but now it is being felt deeply across Pakistan. The Punjabi ruling elite is dealing with these matters with extreme insensitivity. Take the example of this press conference, such an important press event in KP, yet Dawn and Tribune newspapers didn't even properly report on it. That kind of apathy will come at a very heavy cost, because the center-periphery relationship in Pakistan needs healing and improvement. Anyway, the situation now is that a session of the KP Assembly has been called on Monday, as confirmed by Faisal Karim Kundi. Let's see what happens. The entire point of this press conference was to send a clear message to GHQ and to General Asim Munir, since GHQ is essentially just him now, not to interfere in the process of electing Suhail Afridi as Chief Minister. The phrase repeated multiple times was, "Don't throw obstacles in the way, because the consequences will be very dangerous." One hopes GHQ and others have received this message loud and clear, and that on Monday, Suhail Afridi will be elected Chief Minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, as per Imran Khan's recommendation. Now, regarding international developments, there are many going on, and I will discuss them in detail later, but let me briefly mention a few things. First, in the last 48 hours, tensions have dramatically escalated between Donald Trump's America and Xi Jinping's China, particularly over economic and trade matters. On another front, Hamas is now very concerned about how the second phase of the ceasefire deal with Israel will be implemented. They fear Israel might not follow through. The world celebrated the deal, but renewed hostilities may break out, as discussions in the past 24 hours suggest. However, a positive development is that Egypt is trying to organize an international summit in Sharm el-Sheikh. Egypt is also trying to boost its own PR by hosting this. It is expected that President Donald Trump will attend alongside President Sisi of Egypt. That could be a positive milestone. In Gaza, according to local sources, around 500,000 people who had fled Gaza City to the south have now returned, which in itself is a positive sign. Back in Pakistan, the party Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan, or TLP, has set up camps, including near Moeed, saying they want to protest in front of the US Embassy regarding the recent deal, presumably about Israel or related matters. No one really understands the full rationale behind this protest. Well, some do, but officially it remains unclear. According to Punjab police, Over 40 of their officers and personnel have been injured in clashes. TLP claims that 10 of their members have been killed so far. In a long statement on Twitter, Punjab police accused TLP of essentially working as agents of Israel and anti-Islamic forces, an incredibly serious accusation. TLP has strongly rejected this and issued detailed rebuttals. Now, many people had asked me why I hadn't commented on TLP. I did mention them briefly in my last vlog, but let me clarify again. There is now no doubt among any aware, educated and conscious Pakistanis that Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan is a tool, an outfit controlled by Pakistan's intelligence community, specifically ISI. It has always been used to serve their objectives. The current objective is unclear, but it is evident that innocent TLP supporters are being sacrificed. The issue is political. Either Pakistan cannot immediately recognize Israel, or if it is to happen, it must be on better terms, meaning Pakistan should get more out of the deal, because it's taking a huge political risk. Donald Trump has repeatedly said that Pakistan's leadership is very bold, even calling the Field Marshal, Sisi, very brave. So that's the story being spun behind the scenes. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share, and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.